All right, folks, people of the world, I'm going to talk about fragrance by someone that actually comes from near where I am. And it's a new fragrance by drag queen Rita Baga. In fact, she released two fragrances. Both are pretty good. I've got like tester strips with both of them on. But I'm going to talk about the one that I've decided to wear, try it out a bit. And so it's with, I think it's Hébert fragrances. I never even heard of that name, Hébert fragrance. So I'm really not someone who knows a lot about fragrances in my own province, and shame on me for that. And I hope that I will rectify this by talking a bit about the Rita Baga two fragrances. So you might know Rita Baga from RuPaul's Drag Race. I think she made like an apparition there. Um, she's quite a star here in Quebec, and she released two fragrances. So one is called Lunaire, so it has something to do with the moon and stuff. The other is Solaire, so with the sun. I've got like the Lunaire one on, and it's pretty damn good. I'm like very impressed. So I think it smells a bit like 1 million, but in a non-sweet, not too bubblegummy way. It's kind of like just the spicy stuff, just a, but it's not very sweet. It's not a heavily sweet fragrance. It's still pretty sweet, but it's not a heavily sweet fragrance. Um, it's pretty woodsy and spicy. Uh, it's got that, definite like um seductive 1 million vibe to it. Uh, I kind of understand where they're going with the lunaire kind of a vibe. It's moon, so it's the evening, the darkness, and it's very very like appetizing. I really like it. It's got something, yeah, sweet but not too sweet. So it's not a clone of anything. It's just different. There's definitely like also there's probably sandalwood in there, so people who hate sandalwood fragrances beware. But for the most part, it's yeah, sandalwood and spices. I don't know what. Probably cardamom, perhaps cinnamon. I don't know, something like that. I haven't read any notes or anything. Vanilla is present in the fragrance. Very seductive fragrance. Um, very nice. Um, yeah, I think overall a very very solid first fragrance to release. Because for Rita Baga, it's the first time she releases fragrances, and that is the one for the night. The one for the day. Well, I could at least check it out a bit for you. One for the day, much sweeter, much sweeter. Both are like, I think they're branded unisex, but it's a drag queen fragrance. Like it's both are drag queen fragrances, so I guess that it would be kind of a faux pas to brand it otherwise. The Solar one is a lot more like fruity and sweet. Uh, both I think are more like closer to stereotypes of male fragrances. Even though it's a drag queen, it's like it's closer to that than to your typical woman's fragrance. But I think that it's perhaps just like um, the things that Rita Baga was liking, or like Rita Baga in normal life, he's called Jean Francois Guevremont, I think, something like that, and he's like a, I think that probably it's just things that this guy and Rita Baga, his alter, really like. Um, Solaire has got like a very effervescent, nice, fruity personality, and Lunaire a darker, more seductive undertone to it. And I've tried a bit, like to smell both really close, and I think that this would make a solid layering. It's kind of like two sides of a personality, and I think that the branding is based a bit around Rita Baga being the Solaire one and Jean Francois being the Lunaire one. So it kind of like goes together in a very nice synergetic way. Both are pretty easy to wear, I think, since and they're not very expensive, but they seem to be really really well done. The boxing I remember were very awesome, dark, and I really like it, and I think the bottles look quite cool too. Um, and yeah, it's definitely like most like unisex. It's very very easy to wear for anyone, but it's kind of different, and that's really cool because I said like, okay, yeah, the Lunar one got a resemblance to 1 Million by Paco Rabanne, but it's not a one to one. It's not a dupe. It's not a clone. It's just a similar style of spicy, woodsy undertone, like a a bit like a, I don't know how to say. It's like a bit like a fire roasting, and the spices and something's going on, and the vanilla in there, it's amazing, you know. And the other one, I don't think I've smelled anything that really resembles that fragrance, the Solaire one, but it's very fruity, it's very playful, it's very sweet. um, it's got personality too, but it's pretty easy to wear, pretty easy to like, although it's different, and it's still got like manages to do its own thing. So yeah, like that's my review on the two Rita Baga fragrances, and they're pretty cool. Like my assessment is that they're pretty solid fragrances, and pretty solid buys if you want that kind of fragrances, those kind of fragrances. An evening out fragrance that's very sexy and spicy, alluring, and with the vanilla and tonka bean, just yeah, and it's got projection, and it kind of lasts too, so very very good. And the Solar one is very very good for like this effervescent daytime fragrance. I wonder how much time it lasts. This one I didn't test on skin, but I think that they both complement each other pretty well. You could wear like Solar during the day, and even if it projects a lot and stuff, you can wear Lunar on it, and I the layering will be good. And when Solar will be out, Luna will continue to rock on for the rest of the night. So I think it's a pretty solid concept. If you got like two fragrances to buy and make your whole day complete, that's a pretty solid buy, in my opinion. All right, so spread love and spray love. Bye bye.